Part 2. At least the police had the audacity to subpoena me to the court as a witness, being the victim. Although they didn't bring the evidence with them, like the pictures and the video from my security system, they don't even acknowledge any of that stuff, which is wrong. Although they do carry video on them, which most of the time what I've seen in the courtrooms, they've either misplaced, lost, can't find, or don't have. And I'll challenge that in another incident. But anyway, I've tried to get the charges. I've called the state police, the chief, Pete Casillas, I think that's his name. Yeah, I was probably pissed off, very rightly, about what happened. Here's a cop investigating a cop. What a joke. Finds nothing wrong. Does not do a complete investigation, a proper one at that. Closes the case with no wrongdoing. Initially they didn't even want to do an investigation. Reopened the case. Found that the brother did it. Was going to get charged. Closed the case. Reopened the case again after I went to Internal Affairs and told them it's impossible for that kid to have done it. Kid being Michael Chavez. So they reopened it a third time, and I've got him right here. And in there, basically, Michael shut up, and the charges were brought forward, and then, like I said, dismissed because of the lack of prosecution, quote unquote. There's my side of the story. I have all of that documented. The only thing I challenge the FBI to get is you go get the phone number records of both mine and Joseph Chavez in October of 2014, and you will see the consistency of the harassment of phone calls that was coming in for 5-6 days, started the 6th, 5 days solid, where I would get 10 to 12, even 15 calls at one time. And when it started, I would just reject them. My system picked up so much. I am sure that knowing digital technology, there's a footprint for every single one of those calls that was made from that phone. Every single one. That will dispute Officer Robert Correjo's investigative reporting, as well as refute what Officer Joseph Chavez has to say. And I'll almost bet you that if you get the FBI with Michael Chavez will choke, and he'll tell you the truth. He didn't make those phone calls. I'll guarantee you. Now, for my medical. I came here in 2009. I spent 2 years dealing with my medical issues, trying to figure out what was wrong. The doctors were getting it wrong. They had me on, like I said, so many up and down drugs I didn't know where I was. Then I come here trying to deal with this mess. Oh, I was still sane. I was just so angry and livid about everything that was going on. Doctors couldn't get it right, the house deal, and then the house with the neighbor and the police and so on. Yeah, I have every right to be angry. Have I made a threat to them? No. If I have, I know one time when I was having a medical issue, one of these anxiety or these Hashimoto attacks, whatever they are, we're still trying to figure that one out. We're being about a half a dozen doctors and myself. I have the medical records. I have them in the other room. I can prove everything about my medical. It's autoimmune. It's right now the worst part was the Hashimoto's thyroiditis attacking my autoimmune system, attacking a perfectly good thyroid. It's gotten to the point where it's almost completely destroyed. Okay, basically they thought I was just hypothyroid. So many people are. No big deal. A little bit of T4 and you're on your way. Problem is Western medicine doesn't recognize, or they're just learning about autoimmune. So you try and go to these doctors now that know everything. You can't convince them on anything. You can't share anything. You can't even open their minds sometimes. I've got a lawsuit for medical. Yeah, so I'm suing the hell out of somebody for the medical. I'm perfectly sane. I'm very intelligent. Problem is I'm very pissed off. But I also have this thyroid that's attacking me. But not only that, the autoimmune is very complicated. I got evidence. If you want to see some doctors and talk to some doctors, I'll hook you up. You can't find them here in Albuquerque. Trust me. I've been through 4 of them. This thing is attacking, it attacks all your organs. It attacks everything. My feet are so trashed right now, I have a hard time walking. I've been to half a dozen podiatrists, and they're at the point of, there's nothing they can do. Nothing. They give me a prescription for $200 tennis shoes, custom made. That's all. And pain pills. I'm not into the pills, people. I'm done with the pills. So I bear with this pain. Inside my feet, I can hardly walk. I have a knee that needs replacement. I can't get it now because of the heart attack thing. That's just, they don't like doing that. I'm dealing with low blood pressure for the last 6 weeks now. Documented. You want to call my doctor? Cardiologist over here at Presbyterian? I'll let you talk to her as long as I'm on the phone. I don't trust anyone here in New Mexico. Period. Endocrinologist? How about my oncologist, hematologist? You want to talk to them? I'll hook you up. Yeah, last year I died. If I didn't get the surgery, I would have died. I wouldn't have made it through. I even told the chief that back in April of last year, 2013. I'm lucky to be alive. On a number of occasions, 3 times basically in October. I lost 50 pounds because I couldn't eat. This autoimmune is attacking my pancreas. Right now my liver shows okay, but I've got blood work. You explain to me, because I haven't found an endocrinologist that can, how a TSH can go from a 0.089 to maxing out at 100.00 on a test. My test results, I have my blood tests. I have them all. Antibodies tests. I have all kinds of tests from last year by the oncology, by hematology. They thought I had pituitary cancer, tumors, adrenal tumors. They were looking at all kinds of stuff. Leukemia. They still don't know what's going on. Well, you know what? It's very complicated, and I can hook you up and show you the doctors that can explain it. I can't. All I know is it's destroying me. There is no cure for it. I'm on disability. I can hardly walk. It's very easy to piss me off, and this place very easily has pissed me off to the extent of you snap a finger at me and I can snap. Let me tell you something. That first incident, 9 days after my surgery, I was at home and I had the very same symptoms of having the heart attack as I did on the 30th or 31st. But I came out of it. And that was after I went and had some, I didn't know what it was. Later, for people to tell me that I had a near-death experience. I could explain it to you, but you wouldn't believe a word I said. You wouldn't believe a single word of it. I can bet you. It's on the internet. I did a video of it. It's about an hour long, I think. I know one thing. I have to forgive. I have to forgive everybody here. Everybody that did me so wrong, violated my rights as bad as they did. I don't play games. Not at this point in my life, for sure. Right now I'm dealing with some blood work on one thing, low blood pressure on another. I feel like I'm going to have a heart attack. But you don't know. I got my pills here somewhere. I'm ready. I'm also ready to die. There's no cure for what I have. What it does eventually just tear up your organs on the inside. It's done a pretty good job. You don't know what I live with. Go get a book called Stop the Thyroid Madness. Educate yourself. Educate your cops. Find out why some of these people out there are having these problems, and these militialized cops are playing RoboCop and beating the hell out of people, treating them like crap, and killing them. Because they're not educated about people having these autoimmune problems. And there's a whole list of them. And these Western doctors are just now finding out about it. Don't believe me? I'll hook you up. Better yet, go call John Hopkins. Or, what's the other one in Minnesota? I can't think of. They also have one in Scottsdale, Arizona. I've been very tempted to go see them because these doctors here don't know what they're doing. They stay with this basic 40-year-old mentality of how to treat, but they don't realize what I have is autoimmune. It's not just a thyroid problem. Autoimmune is attacking all kinds of parts of my body. All over. Everywhere. It's not fun. So, I guess I'm at this point. I only give you the facts. I do business audits, I do mystery shops, I do video, audio, hidden video, revealed. I do it all. I do it for big companies. In fact, I have a big audit to do for, well, I got 3 dealerships to go do. I do home buying. I do some audits for the federal government. I can't say who and what it is because it involves HIPAA. I don't play games. I got my facts. I hope this helps those investigators, and I hope the FBI and Department of Justice gets a hold of this, because it's going to be on YouTube. This is the weekend before Labor Day, or weekend, or week up before Labor Day weekend, and I don't know what's going on. I don't know if my heart's going to stop. I don't know if there's other things going to make me have a stroke. I don't know what the heck. These doctors can't give me any answers. Don't believe me. I got the medical reports. I got the documents. I've got the blood work. I can show anybody anything. I got the evidence against these cops. This is just against Joseph Chavez. He's a bad cop. And Robert Correjo may have been a good cop. Maybe a good cop. But he's not a good cop when he covers up something like this. If he had done so. I very strongly, in my opinion, knowing the rapport that these police officers, county, state, local, the judge being a previous Belen cop, I've got some stories from him about him as well. My wife is a witness to something when she ran the ambulance. You don't want to know about it. I got something else too. My wife's grandfather was chief of police here in Belen for many years. Torres. Look it up. Magdalena Torres Mendoza, his daughter. There's a few other brothers and sisters, one other sister. Yeah. My wife has a lot of connection to this place, and I can't believe what has happened here. It is so bad, I hate it. I cannot stand this place. I do not want to be friends with people here. I want to leave. But before I can leave, I have to forgive everyone. I have to forgive what they did to me. They basically helped put a couple of nails in the coffin. With all the stress and everything else, that did not help the diverticulitis and everything else going on, because that was all interrelated with the autoimmune. So in a sense, they did help. Probably took an inch or so out of my colon, maybe 2, maybe 3. Well, there was 12, so in fact they probably took about 10 of it. That's how bad it was, and it is. I can't stand to live here. So much corruption here. I have to forgive. It is the hardest thing I can do for what happened to me. It'd be hard for you too. Anyone want to challenge me? I have the evidence. You want to hear the 911 tapes? I have those. You want to see some video? I have those. You want to see Luis Lopez being walked away from our house, escorted from our house by my wife, the day that I was charged, or I was the suspect, as making these threats to these two guys? And the lieutenant was standing right here, and so was the police chief? Sorry folks, this homeboy don't play that game. If somebody doesn't stand up and whine, as my pastor would say, stand up and whine for your rights, you're going to lose your rights. These guys are tearing your rights apart. You have no rights here when they have this little grouping thing that they have going on. Look at it going across the country. Look at it. People, if you don't stand up for your rights, you're going to lose them and you'll never get them back. Ever. Ever. I'm standing up for my rights. It's killing me. And that's the problem here. These people can't handle it. They can't handle the truth. They can't handle. People lie. The documents are right here. The truth speaks for itself. What's the thing about cops and people with habits? They repeat themselves. Look at the record of Joseph Chavez. I can pull up his harassment complaints against him. He's a bad cop. Plain as day. He doesn't earn. He has not earned that badge. He does not deserve to wear that badge. And that's for those good cops that are out there. And I have a lot of friends that are cops, and I've helped in cases with everything from federal auto theft and organized crime, the organized crime division, with the auto theft case where they had salesmen stealing brand new cars off showroom floors out of the Houston area, out of Houston dealerships. After I was threatened, I left. I went to Dallas. I wound up helping my sister with a real estate thing that happened up there. in which we wound up turning it over to a family friend of ours that was in the FBI in Nacogdoches, Texas. And it wound up having 12 or 13 other FBI officers involved, agents. They wanted to put my sister in the witness protection program. I didn't let that happen. But they did make arrests up there. I think it was Sunwest. Just like the rest of that Sunwest mess back in the 80s. They were all interrelated. My sister found out in Dallas in one of those companies that she was working at what they were doing. That's why the FBI wanted to put her in the witness protection program. They couldn't figure out what was going on. I got a whole story about that. There's a book about it. There's a few books about it, actually. You know, I don't know why these local cops think that they knew what was going on, because they sure as hell didn't and don't. I'm on my deathbed. I'm one step in and probably 3 or 4 toes. I'm just trying to stay alive. I don't give a crap rat's ass about this town, about its politics and all this other crap. It's when they came to me, to my house, and started harassing me. And then everything that happened after that, it was always blamed on me. When I have everything documented. You want the 911 calls? They're missing 2 of them. I think that's a federal law that they're supposed to have every single one recorded. They're missing 2 recordings. I have it in hard copy, but they don't have it on the voicemail. No CD. I have the other ones in the other room. My focus is to work on forgiving. Somehow I have to forgive these guys. All of you. The tire company, the city, council members, the mayor, the police, state police, the chief. I've even gone to the Attorney General's office and filed a complaint. And the governor's office. It shows where their interest is. It sure isn't in the public safety. And after this, as I speak about that, I feel for my wife's safety and for my safety. And our dog's safety at that. I don't trust these guys. I do not trust them at all. And I fear for our safety and our lives. And I'm very serious about it. That's part of why I'm also making this video. Because if I seem to come up missing, or I do die for natural causes, at least there's a recording of it. Since no one seems to want to believe me in what I've written, and no one's come to me and gotten any more evidence, especially against the judge and everything else that all happened after that. God bless. All I know is I have to forgive. And I so want to. And move on with my life. But you guys screwed it up pretty good, I can tell you that, for a few years. You screwed up my head with what you did. I wouldn't wish what I went through on anyone. And I can tell you, people are asking me, how did you even survive? I don't know, but except for the faith of God. And I praise God that He allowed me to stay alive to put this together. Because He did tell me I had to make a video and expose the truth. This is the truth.